This is Jeff Arbuckle.
This is Jason Oliver.
And Jason, do you know what it is that people can catch every Wednesday, each and every week?
It's not another stupid movie podcast, is it?
It's exactly another stupid movie podcast.
Oh, shoot!
You can listen to new episodes of Film Seizure every Wednesday morning starring me.
And me!
And we just sit around and talk about movies. Sometimes they're good movies. Sometimes they're bad movies. Sometimes they're someplace in between. I don't know.
Gross, ugly, delicious, funny.
All those things.
All those things.
So every Wednesday, go to filmseizure.com. You might be there right now listening to this episode that's about to start. But you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Film Seizure. So let's get started with the new episode.
Enjoy the episode.
Halloween, everybody.
Ooh,
spooky.
Happy Halloween.
Spooky business. So, this week, let's talk about Halloween.
What? We're going to talk about Halloween on Halloween?
Who in the world would ever do such a thing?
I can't imagine.
Yeah, nobody else on the planet is talking about Halloween on Halloween.
Not one person.
Not one other person.
But we are.
But we are.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We're not just going to talk about one Halloween.
We're going to talk about 2 Halloweens?
And maybe more.
Which Halloween 2 are we going to talk about? Because there's a few of them now.
yeah. There's some chronologically confused situations
going
on here.
This is quite literally the third
Halloween
2.
Right, except for this one's not called Halloween 2. It's the third movie to be called Halloween.
It's the third movie to be called Halloween? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it's the third Halloween and the third Halloween 2.
Weird. Oh, my God. This is just too spooky for words.
Oh, my God. So spooky. Spooky business.
Goodness gracious. Yes, so that's not confusing at all.
No, not at all. So obviously there was this movie 40 years ago called Halloween.
Yes. Pretty good flick, right?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I would dare say it's the gold standard of slasher movies.
Yeah, I would agree.
However, people will say it's the first. It isn't. It's not even, I mean, I wouldn't even say that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the first. It's not even the first movie that has a holiday in its title, because Black Christmas was before that.
Yep.
And then there were, I think, others even before that. I would almost say that you have to go back to like the Mummy sequels in the 40s as being really the first slasher movie. But Halloween, if you don't know what this is, it's about a guy who stalks and kills. It may be the best when it comes to like stalker slasher.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because most of the other slasher movies are just like unstoppable force going to victim.
Yeah. I mean, and this movie has had just countless copycats. I mean, just an unbelievable amount of.
And even had other movies that were made and released before it changed its name to match it.
Yeah.
So because Snapshot,
the day after Halloween. Yeah.
But it came out first in Australia.
That's weird.
Yeah. So I mean,
and it was probably I think to this day, well, probably not to this day, but at one point for decades, it was the most successful independent movie ever made, or something like that.
Compared to
I think maybe
budget,
Blair Witch probably blew that out of the water.
Yes,
but
if you adjust it for, I don't know. I mean, if you adjust it for inflation, it may still be number one.
Yeah.
But then again, also that would also mean it would cost more. And Blair Witch cost like $5.
Yeah,
$5 and borrowing some equipment from the college library.
Yeah, it was like an under 6-figure budget, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think like well, and then Clerks was 27,000.
Yeah.
I think Blair Witch was like 50,000.
I want to say it was 50,000, something like that.
So yeah, I mean, those are two movies that made as much money as Halloween.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, right, but the copycats. Let's talk about that real quick because this movie, Halloween. Now, in a couple of weeks, we're going to talk more about John Carpenter, although we're naturally going to talk about John Carpenter here, I think. But John Carpenter made monies on the cheap. He made a science fiction movie on the cheap that took place in outer space. So he knew his way around making a cheap but effective movie.
Yeah, and this movie, I mean, the original Halloween, you look at it, there's not a whole lot of production in this. It's a neighborhood. It's houses. It's real houses.
There's not even that big of a body count, and there's no gore really.
Yeah.
Those are all things that I think people don't realize because what they think of more often are the copycats, like the Jason Voorhees, and and the countless other '80s slasher movies that happened later. But what's kind of interesting, okay, so yes, obviously Halloween exploded into we got to make Friday the 13th, and we're going to make Mother's Day, and we're going to make Valentine's Day. What's the right, but so
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The one with the minor,
right? Yeah, they remade that one too.
My Bloody
Valentine. There you go. Yep.
Yeah. It's an early morning here, guys. We're recording this on an early morning. One of us is hungover.
Yeah, just it's a little bit.
So the
it's that guy.
It's that guy. It's that guy over there. So so obviously explode. Now, Universal swoops in and it's like, we want to make a sequel. We're going to give you all the money. We're going to back the truck up and dump money on you. And John Carpenter's like, yeah, no, I don't really want to make a sequel. But if I do this, then let me do this other thing I want to do to take Halloween in a different direction.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Halloween 3 here in a minute because I think
we need a special episode for Halloween 3 at some point.
Yes,
we really do. But
maybe that's what next Halloween will be. I don't know. Maybe. So what's funny is that the Halloween franchise ends up becoming, you know, that thing where you see the snake eating itself.
Yeah.
It becomes this endless loop of starting a trend in a movie and then the sequels falling into being the trend.
Yeah.
It's like Halloween 2 instantly takes a slasher route that is not a stalker anymore. It's just a flat out, I am just going to go and kill everything now.
Yeah. It does sort of, it takes the, that's a weird movie. Like it is, it notches up the gore, it notches up the violence. But yet it's still a pretty lean movie. I mean, it's all pretty much in one location. Yeah,
and it still has it still feels like John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Because he produced it, and he had a lot to say over what happened with it.
Is 2 the one where they introduced the idea that Michael is Laurie's brother?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, because they insert some scenes into it where she's like being told that she's not really the daughter of the Strode.
Right. Yeah. It's like a
lady. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But and then the entire series at that point is Michael always has to kill a family member.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it veers off into that path.
I can't remember too. I remember that there were extra scenes shot for the first movie for the TV edit.
Yes.
With like Michael at the insane asylum and interviewing him and everything. Do they retcon the Laurie as a sister into that?
Yes, I think it does because I think it was around the time that they were filming Halloween 2,
Yeah.
that they had to film the extra, and everybody was there.
Yeah.
And so they had the scenes that ultimately end up in 2 where Laurie, as a little girl, goes to visit Michael. Why wouldn't she remember that?
Right? Yeah.
It gets a little weird. It's just kind of a plot.
Yeah, there's like a
convenience.
whole scene with Loomis, basically telling the panel that he should never be released. Michael should never be released and everything. Yeah.
Right. And that and that the panel's like, well, it's just a little. He's just, he doesn't talk. He's comatose. Who cares?
Right. Yeah.
Well, but except for. Yeah.
It kind of sets up the transfer scene at the beginning.
It sets up the transfer. It also sets up the. There's a look that at the very end of the first one that Donald Pleasance gives that doesn't say, "Oh shit, he just got up after I shot him a bunch of times and walked off." It's, I knew this was going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
More so than surprised that it happened.
And it's interesting how the new Halloween, which we're going to talk about a lot here, it takes some of its cues from the sequels, from the psych ward stuff that was shot, I guess, and inserted in after into the first movie.
Right.
Like there's a lot of that there that.
Yeah, this movie
that the creators of this new one kind of drew from.
Yes. So, yeah, because actually I kind of did want to talk briefly about each sequel, because the sequels are conflicting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because the Halloween series, at least the first 6, I have a great deal of nostalgia for.
Oh, absolutely.
So the second one just picks up directly from the very end of the first one. It's just Michael tries to go and finish off Laurie.
Yep.
And you find out why he targets her specifically, because she's a lost sister.
Yeah. And it seems to have a pretty definitive ending.
Yes.
Right? Like
she
Michael
shoots him in the fucking face twice.
Right.
And
sets him on fire.
Then Loomis blows him up.
Sets him on fire, yep.
Yeah, and then he burns. Mm-hmm. You actually literally see him burn, that's how it ends.
Which is a great ending, too. Like the Mr. Sandman song and everything. Like that's kind of fucking classic horror right there. Yeah.
And then Halloween 3 becomes what John Carpenter wanted, which was an anthology movie, which is, we're not going to do this Michael Myers shit all the time.
Right.
We're just going to tell a different story based on Halloween.
Every year, yeah. Which I would have loved if they could have done.
Oh, if they'd have kept that up. Maybe they'll try it again.
Maybe. Hey, that would be cool. Yeah, why not?
But the what's interesting is, ironically, it's the best sequel.
Oh, yeah.
It gets much maligned, mostly because a couple of things. One, no Michael Myers. People get fixated on that talking point, and it's no Michael Myers.
I think people still feel really duped by that. Like people our age, which is so dumb.
It's 35 fucking years later.
But
asshole.
It's like, watch the fucking movie for on its own merit. Like, it is a good Halloween.
Pretend it's
flick.
not called Halloween 3.
Right.
Pretend it's called Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
And then it's great.
It's pretty good.
Now, there are some plot holes, but whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, whatever. All horror movies have plot holes. Get the fuck over it. Including the new movies got a couple of plot holes.
Yeah. I call them like moments of convenience.
Yes. All horror movies have convenient moments.
Yeah.
Also, all horror movies have characters who do stupid shit.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, that's just part of the genre. It's like you never have a Western where you don't have a guy with a couple of revolvers on on his belt.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were people who lived at some point in time with no sidearm in the Old West,
right?
But you don't have those people in westerns. Anyway, so 4, 5, and 6. This is where things get kind of weird.
Yeah. So it's kind of a trilogy, sort of.
Yes. 4 is where nostalgia really kicks in. Like 4 and 5 are kind of doofy.
4, I might have seen 4, at least 4, before I saw the first one. because they used to play 4 and 5 on cable all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember watching those on cable with my dad when I was, I don't know, when those movies come out, like late
88.
80s. Yeah, so I would have been like
89.
10, 9, 10 or something watching those.
Yeah.
And I remember when they were in theaters, and I remember seeing specifically the Halloween 5 promo.
Oh, I saw both 4 and 5 in the theater.
Yeah.
I saw 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 through Rob Zombie Halloween 1 in the theater.
Yeah, the first one I saw in the theater would have been the 6th one. And
what a bummer.
yeah.
Yeah. And I said that I have nostalgia for the first 6. I should say 6 of the first 7. That's what I should say. Let me correct that, because 6 is bad.
6 is really bad.
So, here's the reason why I don't like 6. And this fucking pisses me off for because every
Get it out, Jeff.
Every
Get
franchise tries to do this nowadays.
Yeah.
They try to explain why the bad guy is the bad guy.
Right.
Sometimes the guy is just a fucking monster.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
it was the big problem with Rob Zombie's Halloween. He tried to explain
there's a few problems with Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah, but that was the big one for me.
Although
I don't need to see little like, I don't know, trailer trash Mikey.
Yeah, I don't hate that there was an attempt at something different.
Fair,
but we're not to those.
All right.
So
but 6,
4, and 5 basically try to just be a slasher that just kind of basically apes the first one.
Yeah,
and then 6.
They're fun though, because like Loomis is being Loomis.
Oh, he's going nutty.
Yeah.
He's like a complete and total madman, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah,
Donald Pleasance as a madman is always awesome.
He's just great in all of those movies. Yeah.
And then 6, they bring in the whole cult thing that it's like Michael was like some sort of Celtic or Norn.
I think it was Celtic. Yeah, I don't know.
I think the thorn symbol, which I think that's actually a Norn.
Maybe.
So it can, I don't know. It's a cult thing. That's the reason why he is the way he is. That they have to sacrifice family
members
weird,
to
man.
him. Yeah, it gets really goofy.
There's 2 versions of that movie. One is supremely better than the other.
Yeah,
but they both stink.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a really good creepy atmosphere to that movie. I really like how the town of Haddonfield is portrayed in that movie. Like, it's sort of like this town that has seen better days, right? It's a little...
Well, they're trapped in the past, too, because Michael Myers keeps coming back and killing
right,
people.
and it's sort of like Halloween has turned into this almost like this cult celebrity event. Like, people come into town, it feels like, to party in Haddonfield on Halloween night.
But no, that's not really what's happening. It's the younger generation's trying to get Halloween back. They've canceled Halloween since 1989.
Okay. Yeah.
So the deal is that the younger people who never got to be debaucherous over Halloween,
right? Yeah,
want Halloween to return because they see it. It's kind of a 9/11 allegory before 9/11. Some people want to move on, and yet some other people want to keep the reverence of we have to keep remembering that because it will happen again if we don't.
Right. Yeah.
But the younger generation that doesn't really have any concept of what happened is like, can't we just move on?
Yeah.
Can't we just move on? It's like, yes, bad shit happened, but we're here today.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So that's kind of what the conflict is. But the town is really weird about Halloween, and there are some people who are very flippant about Halloween. Mm-hmm. And then there's the younger generation who just wants to have a fucking party.
Yeah.
Like, get into slutty costumes and have a party.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But yeah, it's still like I remember what always sticks with me the most is sort of there's atmosphere around those Halloween scenes and the party scenes. And when you first meet our grown-up Tommy, Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, yeah.
Introducing Paul Rudd, right?
Even though it came out after Clueless.
Yeah, right.
That's how much problem this movie
Oh,
had.
God, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a mixed bag, but it's mostly bad.
Poop.
Yeah.
It's mostly poopy. Because, again, they're trying to focus on what makes Michael.
Yeah.
And blah. So
then what did they do?
H2O.
Yeah, H2O.
So they wiped out 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
And I'm not even going to say they wiped out 3 because 3's not part of it. Get over it.
3's
people.
in its own universe.
Yeah,
even.
3's in its own universe.
The Halloween movies are movies in the world of 3. Yeah, which is great.
Because you got to watch Halloween and then come home for the big giveaway
Yeah.
that melts your fucking face off.
So good.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's what kids get on Halloween.
So yeah,
Face
so this maybe is the first time that I can think of where a horror sequel actually wiped out previous sequels from canon.
Yes, because we've talked about 6 Friday the 13th movies now.
Yeah.
And those have some canon, but it's very loose and they kind of play very loose with it.
Yeah.
So is it, I mean, can you really say, other than, it's more like Campfire Tales, where it's like, okay, well, it's kind of loose canon. The Mad Max series.
Tales from the Wasteland, right?
Tales from the Wasteland. It's very, very loose canon.
Right.
And so, yes, this is the first one that's kind of basically like, yeah, throw those away.
Yeah, remember those? Forget them.
Throw them in the garbage.
Right.
Yeah. And so, although...
Was
because I mean technically New Line sort of did that with Friday the 13th later in the shitty ones.
Oh, I guess.
Where they kind of picked and choose what they wanted to keep and what they wanted to say about Jason Voorhees.
Yeah,
but that's just because they couldn't call the movies Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I don't really count that.
No,
this was definitely a deliberate attempt at rewriting the timeline,
right?
With the idea of, okay, we're going to take the franchise in this new direction with this plot line, basically.
Yeah, and all these other stuff, just throw it away.
Right,
throw it away.
Boom, gone.
Boom, gone.
So so H2O, right?
Yeah, I like that movie.
It's not bad. It's not great.
It's not great, but it's...
When I saw it, I thought it was the best Halloween sequel that had come out. Other than... we're not going to count 3 as a sequel.
Well, also, I mean, 21-year-old Jeff's very different than 41-year-old Jeff.
That's the problem, right?
21-year-old Jeff is in the 90s, which all these kids... H2O is the most 90s thing ever.
It's so 90s. I think about that now as like the Dawson's Creek Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Michelle Williams is there.
Yeah, Michelle Williams is there. It's like fucking Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
A 90s heartthrob is all over that movie.
Yeah, and his stupid bedhead.
Oh, God,
fucking Josh Hartnett,
fucking
get a comb
your hair, Josh Hartnett. And then you've got LL Cool J being LL Cool J all over that thing.
Adam Arkin being Adam Arkin all over the place.
God, it is so 90s. And then you've got the whole weird like boarding school setting.
Yeah, and it's in California. Like Michael Myers actually has to traverse the country to get there.
But they definitely keep with the idea that he is hunting.
Yes,
it
becomes a stalking sort of thing again, and of course it's one of those things where it's like, she cuts off his head at the end, and it's like, well, this movie just made a fucking $1 billion, so it's like, I guess we're gonna figure out a way that he lives, and then they make one of the worst movies in the entire bunch.
It's shockingly bad. Resurrection.
Oof.
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean, oof. Fuck, that one's bad.
Yeah.
It's like...
There's some funny scenes in that, though.
Well, yeah, Busta Rhymes
is dressed as Michael Myers. Like,
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That one's bad. It's bad.
Doesn't Busta Rhymes, like, do a fucking karate kick on Michael Myers at some point in that movie?
He beats his ass.
That is so fucking ridiculous.
It's bad. But, I mean, there's funny bits to it, but I can't really... Watching the whole movie from start to finish pisses me off.
I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater.
Yeah,
and I can't really bring myself to watch it. The thing is, I remember, other than Busta Rhymes, the couple scenes with him, the thing I also remember is they killed Laurie Strode at the beginning.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, we're going to put Jamie Lee Curtis on this poster.
Yeah. And
she's
they kill
above the title.
They kill her in the first 10 minutes of the first scene.
Yes.
Like Michael comes back. He finds her. She's like in a mental hospital.
Waiting for him to come for her
Yeah.
because she realizes that she killed. Yeah, they retcon the end of H2O.
But it's interesting, to make it so that he didn't get beheaded. Yeah, it was somebody else who was beheaded. Yeah, stupid shit.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because they kind of ape a little bit of her character in the new Halloween.
They pay a lot of attention.
They do,
and they even borrow a little bit. So after Resurrection, they're like, okay, fuck, we're gonna make another sequel because they leave it open, but then it shits the fucking bed and the nightstand and the floor next to the bed and all over the toilet seat. It's shit everywhere. And so they were like, okay, you know what? No, we're just going to remake now.
Right.
So in comes Rob Zombie. Now, Rob Zombie has just come off of a couple of relatively successful movies.
Yeah.
House of a Thousand Corpses, which I know I like a lot more than you do.
Yeah, and I like Devil's Rejects quite a bit.
I love Devil's Rejects.
Those
are two.
Devil's Rejects to me is like the epitome of the 70s sort of horror
exploitation.
Yeah, exploitation.
Both
like that movie is filthy. It's gross.
And you're forced to root for people that you shouldn't. Root for.
That is just there's a film like. Not there's like
you walk out of the theater smelling like 3-day-old cigarette smoke and feet. Yeah, that's what you smell like when you came out of that.
It's
theater.
An incredibly effective movie.
Yeah,
Texas or not Texas. House of a Thousand Corpses is kind of like the Texas Chainsaw 2
yes.
of
right. Yes, and so Miramax is like, well, this guy's getting some praise for Devil's Rejects. Let's bring him in. And I guess that the Weinsteins kind of tinkered a little bit. Like there's been some stuff recently coming out that said that Rob Zombie didn't exactly get to do what he wanted all the way. Now, the characters are in the script is 100% zombie. The number of times they say the word fuck is ridiculous. Yeah. And the characters are so fucking unlikable.
Yeah,
it is a slog to, and they're both 2-hour plus movies. And that's too fucking long.
And they somehow take a beloved character like Dr. Loomis, and they cast an actor who I fucking love in Malcolm McDowell,
and he should be able to play that part.
And they make him so fucking unlikable. He is so unlikable. He's even more unlikable in the second movie.
Yeah, there are moments in the first. See, I haven't seen the second one. I was like, nope, not going to do it.
Like they try and do something interesting with him in the second movie, where he's consumed by the fame of writing the story of Michael Myers and being his doctor.
Right.
But
they make him an asshole.
They make him a big asshole.
And in the first one, it's like you get the sense that he is kind of cashing in, but he also seems to be like legitimately upset that he couldn't help the little boy, and that it's like it's you get the impression that he's trying, but that at the end of the day he's got to cut that off, and it's like I can't help him. There's nothing I can do. I'm going to move on, and now I'm going to go and lecture classes about him or whatever.
What's interesting too, though, is so David Gordon Green and Danny McBride are pretty much the people behind the new one.
Yeah, we're pretty much caught up
now. And there's an element of the zombie movies that they use in this one as well. Specifically
the PTSD stuff.
With Laurie Strode, Zombies Laurie Strode. Who's the actress that played her?
Taylor Scout Compton?
Yes.
Compton?
Her character in the second zombie Halloween is
just off the rails nutty.
Right. Like she's dealing with the trauma of the first movie. And that's an interesting idea as well.
She screams at Margot Kidder for prescription drugs, which is in that alone is kind of brilliant.
Yeah. So that idea is kind of taken, lifted right out of Zombies Halloween 2 and applied to the real Laurie Strode.
Right.
Jamie Lee Curtis 40 years later.
Yes. So you know what? Let's get into new Halloween.
Yes.
So number one, this movie is now 12 days old. I am positive if you haven't seen it and you are trying to still stay away from
I can't talk about movies without talking about the shit that happens in them.
Yeah,
so
spoiler alert from going for, if you've probably seen the movie and you're just wanting to get all the takes on, because I get it, man. I do it too. It's like I came home and watched 2 reviews after watching a double feature of Halloween. I came home and watched 2 reviews back to back about this movie. So I get it. You want to consume, ideas. If you haven't watched it though, come back later.
Yeah,
if
definitely.
you don't want to know what's happening.
Definitely.
So I'm going to preface by saying when I saw the first trailer back in the spring, I was kind of lukewarm to it.
Okay.
I was cautiously optimistic that maybe this could be something. It wasn't really until the second trailer that I really thought, oh, this is cool. This is going to work. I felt that the portrayal of Laurie Strode was low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Gun-toting grandmom, who's just been spending 40 years waiting for the madman to come and get her, is low-hanging fruit to me.
Sure.
I would have loved if she was perfectly normal.
Huh.
And I'll get to, because, okay, yes, I mean, obviously she had a traumatic experience, but here's my elevator pitch of the only thing I would have changed about the premise. Laurie Strode is perfectly normal. She lived through the terrible night, got some great psychiatric help from Dr. Loomis, lives a well-adjusted life. She has a daughter, a granddaughter. She seems like the perfect, almost 60-year-old lady, living in suburbia, with a successful job. Maybe she's the mayor of Haddonfield. And then Michael busts out, and then you track back through time and find out that in her privacy, she has been preparing, and now she's the fucking badass.
Yeah.
The twist is she has always been the badass and has always waited for him to come back.
I like that.
But she was perfectly normal on the outside to everybody else, and was like, oh, she could, she survived that night. She couldn't hurt a fly now, though, but she's not the crazy person in the outskirts of town.
I sort of like that. I can see that where, because as you're describing all of that, I'm thinking to myself, but so much of the story is about, not necessarily about her trauma, but the trauma that she caused her daughter, and that her daughter caused her daughter.
Yes, because there are times where it's like, I flat out don't like Judy Greer in this movie.
Right, yeah.
Because it's like, because this movie ultimately boils down to obsession. Everybody is obsessed with something. Laurie is obsessed with Michael and obsessed with killing him ultimately. Like, she can't go to Smith Grove Hospital and straight up shoot him in the face.
Right.
But she knows that he will eventually come for her. His new doctor is obsessed more so than even Loomis was with Michael. And we'll get to more on him.
But there's an interesting thing about this too, because Laurie, I do believes that Michael is going to come for her, but in reality, he doesn't fucking think about Laurie Strode.
No, why would he? He's right, because again, you're wiping out the second movie.
They use that sort of idea, and they plant it in Laurie's brain in this movie, but in reality, it's not his fucking motivation at all.
Right. No, he's just
but there are set up moments of convenience that make the two converge.
Yes,
that to me is the weakest part of this movie, is the fact that Michael and Laurie actually do face off, and in a way that isn't her hunting him necessarily.
It's other people planting,
positioning them
like,
to converge. Yeah,
that actually becomes one of my weakest parts too. So the movie started. Interestingly enough, I thought when the movie started that it wasn't present day.
Oh, huh.
Because in one of the reviews I watched made a good point where it's like, because like all of the equipment inside the hospital is all old.
Yeah.
The podcasters have this thing that looks like it's from the fucking 50s.
Yeah, that thing looks like a fucking taser.
Yes, it does.
Like a stun gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like their microphone that they go and they interview people with, but it does look straight up like a taser. I'm like, why are they bringing a taser? Why are they talking into the taser? What are they doing?
It's multi-purpose.
Yeah. And it's not like one of those little itty bitty tape recorders, or a digital
it's
recorder.
freaking ginormous.
Yeah, it's like, and it's in a leather case.
Yeah,
it's weird. It looks like an old school. I don't know. It doesn't look like present day. And then what? But one of the reviews I watched was talking about how all the the computer screens inside the hospital and stuff are all the old stuff. Like, did Lori sue the hospital so bad that they can't have updated equipment?
Well, she had to pay for all those guns and
which would connect
later.
that. Yeah, that connects all of those dots.
And she has those scruples about selling her story because they pay her $3,000 for an interview.
Which she just got it so she can give it to her granddaughter.
True.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that saves me from writing a check.
You're right. Yeah.
Here we go, granddaughter, an envelope full of cash.
Yeah. Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah. But no, so those podcasters were idiots.
Oh yeah.
It's like, here's your mask, Michael. You want it? Come get it. Come get it. You want it?
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing?
There's an interesting moment too there where I'm watching this and I'm like, why would his doctor approve of this? Because he keeps looking back at the doctor for validation,
and he's like,
do it.
Yeah.
And that's your first clue. Ultimately, that the
right.
doctor's a little kooky.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But I
Hey, let's just antagonize this guy.
Yes.
Right?
But he doesn't seem to care.
No.
Like, that mask just happened to be, that was the thing I wore that night.
Right.
I don't think he gives a shit. Everybody else gave a lot more shit about it.
Most definitely.
But
that's where we then get our first moment of convenience.
Yes.
That I don't really care for.
Yeah. Also, okay, so then they're going to transfer Michael to to basically a prison cell, where it's not going to be a hospital where you can get outside, even though you're chained to a crazy checkerboard. That would drive those poor crazy people even crazier.
Yeah, that was one of those two. It's where that's an interesting set piece. But
it doesn't make any sense realistically.
But are there really mental hospitals that do that?
No.
No, right?
No, because that would be something that
Susan brought that up too. She was like, that felt really exploitative of the mentally ill.
Anybody, any patient that has any kind of obsessive behavior would become even more obsessive in a perfectly white and red checkered floor.
Right.
No. I mean, it's great that they get to be outside.
Sure.
Hurrah. But you're putting them in a fucking
they're like chained
Alice in
individual.
Wonderland.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty I mean, it looked kind of cool, kind of creepy.
It's cool looking, but I don't believe any hospital would have that.
It didn't feel super real.
No. So Michael, of course, gets out, although I think the doctor helps.
Oh yeah, they don't show
say
it because that's the twist later.
Right.
But absolutely he helps.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why he's alive.
Yes. Everybody else is crumpled up like fucking paper. Yeah. It's like that one poor guy is like crumpled up by it's like Michael Myers with his bare fucking hands.
Yeah.
Crumples up an old crazy guy. Like he's in a ball next to the bus. And that so like a dad and his kids, like, what are these crazy people doing?
Oh man,
now,
here's the little kid gets strangled. Like that's like the first moment of real horror in the movie.
Yes, however, it's more of Michael killing out of convenience or out of need, not out of I'm going to kill this kid just because I'm crazy.
I'm taking this truck.
I got to take this truck, and this kid's got a fucking gun.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to just kill him.
God, that kid was hilarious. By the
Oh,
way.
that kid just wanted to go to.
He just wanted his dance class. That's all.
He didn't want to go hunting.
Can we take a second to talk about that scene because I found that scene to be really, really endearing.
Yes,
because dad wants to take his son hunting.
Yeah, so right after the opening credits, it's like a car driving down the street.
Like this scene had Danny McBride written all over it. Yeah,
and it's it's a father and a son. Father's all dressed up with his goofy hunter's cap and his and his suede jacket. They're going camping and hunting.
Yeah,
and then holy shit, there's crazy people all over the road.
Right.
So the conversation before you get to the crazy people,
it's great. Like the dad is just is talking about how excited he is essentially to go hunting with his son. He's like, we're gonna go hunting, and his kid is like, well, I'm missing dance class for this.
He's like, that's really what I'm feeling.
He's like, that's really what I'm feeling right now. What he says something about it gets him right in the heart or something like that, and it's really sweet because there's two things I love about this. You have a dad who really likes to hunt. And you would assume, a son who just wants to go to dance class, that there's sort of this maybe
friction.
Friction between those two, like a masculine and a feminine thing, right? But it's not.
No,
it's not like that at all. It's like his dad is totally accepting of his son.
But he also misses out the stuff that they did when the son was younger.
Right.
Yeah.
So his dad is just trying to kind of cling to the past and do something that he loves to do with his son. But his son is fully willing to hang out with his dad. You get the sense that he loves his dad, but he's missing dance class, and that's really what he wants to do right now.
I just want to dance.
And he's totally comfortable talking about that with his dad.
Right. And the dad isn't just like this is the first opportunity to see that this isn't just going to be the Rob Zombie thing where William Forsythe's going to like, you're a faggoty ass faggoty
right
fuck.
Yeah, right.
It's like no, this is not William Forsythe being a fucking monster man that deserves to get killed.
And what this does is first of all, it's an incredibly progressively written scene. Like it's beautiful. It's
emblematic of 2018 more so than
it's funny.
Anything else.
It's honest. It's open, and in a very 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 short amount of time, you like both of these characters.
Sure.
And then they get fucking killed.
Yeah, because they do horror movie stupid person shit.
Yeah.
The dad sees crazy people walking all over.
I gotta check it out.
I'm gonna go check this out, son. I'll be back. He's never seen it again.
Nope.
For all I know, he got crumpled up and thrown to the side too. And then, so the son calls 911 like a smart person would, but then the 911 person says, I'm assuming, go check on your dad.
Right.
Which they shouldn't do.
They would never do.
However, I will argue that, yes, they do. 911 told me to go into a burning building.
What?
Yes. Remember the next door
Isn't like the first
apartment?
thing they tell you to do usually tell you to do is like find a safe place or stay where you are.
What happened was that
that's crazy.
Yeah. So the apartment next door caught on fire. Little kid knocks on the door and it's like, our apartment's on fire and my sister's asleep upstairs.
Oh my God, seriously?
And so Amy called 911 and it's like, you probably should send somebody quick because one, you're right down the street. You should come quickly.
Right.
Two, there's probably a child still inside by the time when you get here. They said, well, send your husband in to get the child. Which, if you really want to take away all of the circumstance, the right thing to do is go get the child.
Right.
But 911 doesn't tell.
Yeah.
The 911 police fire would not tell you to do that.
I don't think they would. No.
But this guy did.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So yeah.
Did you do it? Did you go in there? You got him?
Yeah.
Was it really legit on fire?
It was more of an electrical fire because it was more smoke.
Did you get like a washcloth and bring it in with you? Yeah.
Shirt
like
over your face. Yeah. Actually, me and the little brother, little brother's like, yeah, I'll go in with you. And we went and got her.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like this guy.
You're a goddamn hero, Jeff.
I guess. But 911 does tell people to do stupid shit from time to time.
Okay. All right.
So if you ever work for 911, even if there are children in in like immediate danger, you don't tell somebody else to also be in immediate danger.
Sure, right.
Because Ken said that that the fire would not want you going in.
Yeah, you wouldn't think they would.
No.
Yeah.
Because that's one more
It's one more person they have to fucking save. Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And human nature is don't go into the burning building because keep yourself alive.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, so the little kid is
told. Was that a Queen song you just quoted there?
Yes.
Keep yourself alive?
Yeah. Hey, guess what comes out in a couple of
Hey,
days?
yeah.
Right. I want to go see that.
Me too.
Kid is told to go check on his dad. Kid gets into is looking around, looking for his dad. Goes into the bus, and the doctor's in the bus. And he's like,
Don't shoot.
Don't shoot. And he immediately
gets
shoots
shot. Yeah.
And the kid's like, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And so he goes back to the truck, and Michael's waiting for him, kills him.
Yeah.
And it's like, Michael is dangerous. I mean, this is like, he's like, he knows when he's in the wild, he wants to go kill him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like he wants to go hunting. You know, maybe the dad should have said, hey, we're going hunting. Want to come?
Yeah.
And he would have been like, totally cool. So
you know, and all right, here's kind of another callback to the original in this movie where, all right, there's a transport of the prisoners, of the patients, and then that's Michael's opportunity to escape, and he escapes.
Right.
And
the imagery of crazy people just walking out in the dark.
Right, yeah, very much
and only lit by headlights and stuff.
And again, I guess we should mention, too, at this point that that it's sort of just written into the movie that Michael was captured shortly after the events of the first movie.
Basically, the way I put that together is that, okay, so at the end of the first movie, Loomis shoots him out the window. He lands. Loomis goes. He's not there. I'm assuming he does get up, but he's kind of staggering.
Yeah, he's
a little bit because he is a little bit more human in the first movie and in this one too. Mm-hmm. So he is Loomis slowed him down so that the cops could capture him, basically.
Yeah. And they even Will Patton, the sheriff of Haddonfield, was
the responding officer who
captured him and took him into custody. Yeah,
right.
There's an interesting little factoid about that is that David Gordon Green, the director of this movie, really struggled with that. He wasn't sure how to convey that Michael was captured, and that there wasn't.
There's no footage of it.
Yeah, there wasn't this whole thing that happened after, and it was like a very tidy kind of. They picked him up, they took him into prison, took him back to the hospital or whatever. He wanted to reshoot the ending of the movie. He wanted to show it, the capture and everything, and they were going to do like a body double for Loomis and all sorts of stuff. Like they wrote a scene, and Carpenter was like, "Nope, you shouldn't do it."
Yeah,
he's like you shouldn't do it. It's not gonna work. You should just trust the audience. They'll get it. They'll understand.
Yeah.
Just write it into the script somewhere that he was captured. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't think it's needed. I don't think it was needed.
What I thought was funny about that is I didn't either. I didn't think it was needed. But my wife, she was like, "Oh, I want to know what the fuck happened."
Yeah,
she's like,
sure.
"I wanted to see it. I wanted to know, like, they just captured him? That seems weird." It's like, well, yeah, but you've also got the hindsight of like 8 million sequels.
Right. Because he also got captured in 5.
Right.
Where he's just sitting there like all sad in the jail cell before the Man in Black busts him out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, wait, what? We just saw him like for 2 movies like slaughter a whole town.
Yeah.
It's like, that seems odd that he's just chilling there in these chains,
Yeah. But anyway, that's kind of how they bridged the two. And
I was fine with that.
I was.
It's like, because I think our brains would not have accepted new footage.
I would not have liked that.
No, I would have been like, ugh.
Yeah.
Instant, like you're playing on the wrong stuff.
So what did they do instead? There's lots of moments of knowing nostalgia in this movie.
Yes.
But it feels like a correct and worthy sequel.
It feels more like John Carpenter made it than somebody else trying to play on your nostalgia.
Yeah. And I think that is a testament to the script. It's a testament to David Gordon Green, who I think is a very, very good director. And that yeah, they were able to kind of bring their own thing to it, and their fingerprints are on it.
Yeah.
But it's also very respectful of just the right tone and feel of the original.
Yeah.
I mean, and it helps that you've got Carpenter back doing the score.
Sure.
I mean, the score is
pretty good.
Pretty fucking great.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they really he was very smart as well. He did the same thing. Carpenter did the same thing with the music that David Gordon Green did with the film. He updated it, but without copying it.
Yeah.
He essentially elevated his score to make it feel more present in today.
Yes,
right?
But you still get the theme,
and he added themes which are fucking good. Like some of the themes that he wrote originally, him and his son actually did the score. They're just great.
Right.
I mean, I looked at we saw this in the drive-in, and we had like a little boombox thing. I looked over at it one point during one of the new themes, and I was like, "Holy fuck! Like that is good."
Yeah. So the other thing that I didn't particularly care. Well, I'll wait. No, we'll come back to that because I liked the fact. Okay, so Michael eventually gets into Haddonfield.
Yeah.
He finds the first gas station that's got a mechanic in there so he can get his jumpsuit back.
Right.
Just so happens.
Yeah, this is what I didn't like. Yeah.
It just so happens where the podcasters happen to be filling up gas.
Yeah.
Got the mask in the trunk and everything. And then he just slaughters fucking everybody in this gas station, including the podcasters who we thought would maybe eventually take over, or at least I thought would eventually take over either a Loomis role or a carrying forward any sequels or anything. No, those fucking guys get fucking massacred.
Oh, yeah. I like that they die. I don't like the convenience.
I do, because it takes away the obsessive behavior of Michael that was manufactured in the sequels.
Okay.
It takes away the fact that he is specifically targeting people.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you're here too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm going to get my mask back.
And that's what I think is kind of goofy, though, right?
Well, but I mean, I don't know. It's
like, oh, shit, here's my mask. I'm going to put that on.
Well, I mean,
because again, to me, it feels like it's one of two things. It's either an incredible coincidence,
which is that, but that's
or he's actually hunting them because he wants his mask back. And I think that's I think that's even dumber.
Right, the mask means nothing to him,
but he sees it and he takes it.
He takes it because it's there. I don't think the mask means anything to him. That's my take on it, because he didn't he kind of reacted to it, but he didn't care.
I think you're probably right, but it's tricky because you're making a fucking Halloween movie. You have to have the Shatner mask,
sure,
right?
But
so you've got to figure out a way to get it.
You got to get it to
him.
But the thing is I don't think the character himself needs to be obsessed with it.
Right. So I don't know. I guess they did it about as well as you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, because
they've got to set it up as a thing that exists that he gets back. I mean, you can't.
Well, it's the iconography of the series.
Unless he just finds the exact same mask again, like 40 years later in a fucking hardware store, right?
Right.
But it's not. That's not going to happen.
No.
So yeah, I mean, that's tricky.
Right. Sure. But what you see after that is that he continuously, like a fucking video game, levels up throughout the town of Haddonfield.
I really wish that they
starts by killing people with his bare fucking fists.
Yeah.
Then goes to get the hammer.
Then the knife.
Then kills somebody with the hammer to get the knife.
Yep.
Then ultimately gets a bigger knife at the other. It's like he's leveling up throughout the movie as he's slaughtering a town.
Yeah. Wait,
it's
there's also so in the first movie, Michael doesn't do a lot of purposeful, like, there's one scene that always kind of cracks me up in the first one where it in some ways feels out of place of the character of Michael Myers, but in other ways it's like, holy shit, he's a real turd asshole. and it's when he wears the sheet, the ghost
Yes.
sheet, right?
Yeah.
So I always think about this because it fucking kills me because all right, there's no goddamn way he could see anything because he's wearing a fucking mask. Then he's got a sheet over, and then he's got the glasses, yeah, which are probably like the worst prescription ever, right? How the fuck does he see a goddamn thing? Like you got PJ Souls showing him or her titties, right?
Right.
And he can't see those fucking titties.
No,
they're all blurry. But it's a moment in that movie where he is purposefully being horrific, like
Yes.
he's trying to scare this person.
Sure.
And that to me, it is. They do that really for me once in the new movie, and it's when he fucking throws the teeth
Yes.
into the stall
After he ripped them all out of that one guy's
right
face.
and that I really wish it wasn't in the trailer because everybody
Yeah.
who's seen the trailer has seen that scene, and it's probably I think the most chilling moment
Yes.
in the movie. That's fucking crazy. Like somebody is fucking serving me someone's teeth right now
Yeah.
while I'm cowering in a fucking stall.
It's like thanks for the extra laxative, pal.
Yeah.
Because I just
Yeah,
shit everywhere.
she was already like taking a shit. Yeah,
You're right.
that was one nice thing. I was like, well, you don't have to poop pants. You already done it. Because I'd be pooping them right now. But you're conveniently already taking a shit.
Yeah. So, it's like there's some. Okay. Michael goes on a rampage. At one point, I'm pretty sure he has like fucking made up for 40 years of nothing by like killing half of Haddonfield.
Oh yeah, I mean he hits his quota from the first movie and like
On the bus.
On the bus, yeah, yeah.
So he on the bus to Haddonfield,
Yeah.
he already hit his fucking, so like he's just going house to house, just wiping motherfuckers out. But during the course of this, you have my favorite scene in the whole movie. My favorite scene in the whole movie is Laurie's granddaughter, Allison's friend, and I can't think of her name right now. Actually, let me. But she's
babysitter, right?
She's the baby.
Yeah.
Vicky. She's babysitting the little black kid.
Yep. Oh god,
those
two are just great. Those two are just great.
Yeah, it's like almost as if they were fed ideas for lines and then they just took it over from there because that was too brilliant the way that they interacted with one another.
Loved them together.
And then it's like to the point where it's like, oh damn, she's gonna get fucking killed.
Yeah,
which you do see in the trailer too. That's kind of unfortunate that the best scare
in the closet
in the movie is
absolutely.
The most chilling moment and the best scare of the movie is both in the trailer.
Yep.
But it's like that is some good old fashioned building sympathy for a character. And I already had sympathy for her because of her fucking douchebag boyfriend who's like, with all the shit that's going on in the world, who cares about a couple of people dying?
Right.
Fuck off, asshole.
But
fuck off. I'm glad you got fucking killed.
But
I'm glad they stuck you to a fucking wall.
He was a kind of funny character too, though.
Well, he is totally designed to die.
Right. But he's also kind of representative of this sort of the desensitization that you kind of hear about, with scary movies and with all the violence in the world. Like he represents a certain mindset of people where, this is, 5 people got killed, big deal. I mean, and in some ways, in some ways,
true.
I mean,
but you don't say that to the fucking relation of the person who
fair enough
lived through it.
Fair enough.
Fuck off, you asshole.
But it's also been like 40 years,
Again, though, you don't say that to the relation of the person who survived that night.
Fair enough.
You don't say who cares about somebody who lost all their friends. Fuck off with that. It's like, no, that guy deserves to die. Stick him to the fucking wall, Michael. And he did.
He did. To the wall.
To the wall. Yeah, he got fucking pinned up like a piñata. Fucking asshole.
Well, my favorite scene in the movie comes I think right before that, when he starts to make his first kills in the neighborhood.
When he's leveling up.
Yeah, so they show part of this in the second trailer where he.
But only like a brief. Moment. It's a long moment.
I was very very happy and surprised by the length of this scene. Yes, and it's all one shot. It's super fucking well done.
He runs into the kids.
Yeah.
Then he walks up to the. So that is all one.
It's all one shot. Yeah. He goes into the carport, under the carport, into the garage, grabs the hammer. Then he goes into the house. They follow him into the house. He sees the knife, but he kills the woman with the hammer first. Picks up the knife. Then you follow him again. Follow him out of the house.
Passes an infant, doesn't kill it.
Right.
Reacts to it, doesn't kill it.
Moves out of that house. Then goes up to the porch of another house. Peers in the window.
Woman's on the phone talking about whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing related to anything.
Well, no, actually, I think that there is. She is warned about something. Like you get the sense that maybe she heard about the bus accident or something like that, because she does seem like she's alarmed, and she's like, "Well, thank you for letting me know," or something like that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But then Michael leaves the porch, and you see the camera stays on the porch, and you see him walk along the side of the house. It's the shape. It's basically a shadow silhouette of him moving
down the alley, up the driveway.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's coming in the fucking back door, and sure enough,
but he comes in the opposite side of the frame. He doesn't come in the side you see him walk down. So like he has traversed all the way around to another door.
Yeah, he's coming the back door basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming around the back of the house and in the back door and comes into the room that you're still looking through the window of and kills the woman who was on the phone. Yeah.
Sticks the big ass knife through her fucking head.
That scene, I mean, that was
awesome.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah. So the thing that my biggest complaint, and it doesn't really hurt the movie. Like I like this movie quite a bit. This movie should not ever be compared to the original. Like there are going to be some people who just naturally react instantly to new things and say this is the best Halloween movie. This is not. It's made with a lot of care. It's probably the best sequel. Although we'll see what it's like later on. Like maybe 20 more years from now, we don't have the same reactions to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how this movie will age.
But the thing that I really didn't like, but didn't really harm it too much, I just kind of felt like it was a little bit too much of a diversion from the plot, was when the turn of the doctor.
Yeah.
Because it's like they were already going to where the final act is going to take place. I kind of feel like this is a contrivance, and not exactly a positive contrivance that you get in the horror movie.
Yeah, let's talk about this, because this to me I think is also rooted in my least favorite thing in the movie too, is the fact that there has to be a showdown, right, between Laurie and Michael.
But in order to get to that showdown, they don't just make it so that Michael eventually finds himself there. They make it so that his doctor becomes a madman himself, kills Will Patton.
His whole thing is he wants to observe Michael in the wild. Like he wants this better understanding of this bringer of death, basically.
And he wants to see the victimized and the victimizer
collide,
face off with one another, to see who wins.
To see who wins and what kind of psychosis comes out of that.
Right. He's all about the psychosis of the after effect.
Yeah.
Of thing.
And to be honest, like I like a lot of what he talks about, what he brings to the movie.
Yes, because it
is very interesting.
He does talk about something that you don't often think about, which is what happens to the victimizer.
Yeah.
You always hear about what happens to the victims, but what about the person?
How is that? How have they changed?
Yeah, how are they shaped by those things?
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, and like then it's like they see Michael, they run into him with the car, Will Patton gets out and he's like, I'm going to blow this motherfucker away while I got him.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's end this
Seems
shit.
reasonable.
Seems perfectly reasonable. The doctor's like, no, and like fucking stabs him in the throat, kills Will Patton like practically instantly.
Yeah.
And then he pops up with the fucking mask. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
That's goofy.
So I thought that was goofy too, and I was really worried that this was going to be, oh God, is he going to be like...
Is Michael really dead?
Right.
And is he taking...
I got real concerned there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, that's not the case because pretty much... Because, like, he wants to hear Michael speak. And, like... Allison, the granddaughter, is like, I heard him speak when he killed one of my friends. Yeah. And it's like, well, what did he say? Did he say his sister's name? Did he say Judith? And you see like Michael twitch. And it's like, oh, he's still alive.
Yeah.
And when she sees it, she says, fuck. Which is like, is that what he said? Oh my God, that's amazing. That would have been great if the doctor actually believed that's what he said.
That's what he would have said in the Rob Zombie version for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But no, it's and that's there's a chilling nature of that scene because she's stuck inside the car with this killer.
That scene reminded me a lot of what I think is the most effective scene in Scream 2. Where you think the killer is dead in the car and they've got to like go over him and everything, like really effective, scary suspense. Yeah,
yeah, and but then it just like within 2 minutes that's resolved.
Yeah,
he just fucking bashes in the. Although I did like how the cop died, he got low blowed.
Oh yeah,
his head turned into red velvet cake, which is awesome. Yes. Michael just head stomps him.
Yeah, I mean it crushes his head like a watermelon. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and then of course you get the big showdown.
But yeah, so the showdown happens. How does Michael get to that house? Does it just stumble upon it at this point?
No, because because the doctor's bringing him.
I know that he was, but he wrecks the car before they get there, doesn't he?
Just right down the street because the other cops like who are posted outside are like Tim Tebow and Glenn Beck in that car posted right outside the. Those guys look totally like Glenn Beck and Tim Tebow.
Yeah, they did.
I was like, wait, is that Tim Tebow?
And they were funny too. Like, there's a lot of like really like good, just
slice of life. Those guys reminded me more of the cops from Five.
The fucking peanut butter jelly banh mi. Like that cracked me up.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty good stuff. So they just happen to be. They're posted outside. They see the car down the street. So Michael. So I think Allison is running to the house, like through the woods.
She is, yeah.
And Michael figures out where they're going.
Yeah.
And then he just shows up.
So, all right. Yeah. So basically you have the showdown. All three women at the end. It's these three generations of Strode women who take down Michael, right? And it's cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the ending of The Quiet Place. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I have not.
Very similar, like the matriarchy, right, has prevailed, and I really like that. I think it's nice.
Well, it's fitting for the Halloween series
for sure.
The Halloween series always had matriarchal heroines. It was the guys always died.
And I like the whole. It was this place was always intended to be a trap idea, right? It's not a cage; it's a trap, idea. But at the same time, I don't really buy it because the reason he is there is because the doctor brought him there.
Right.
Like, how would this have happened without this nefarious character? Right, doing what he did. So to me, it doesn't feel right. I feel like Laurie should have been baiting Michael more than she was if she was really laying this elaborate trap in the end.
But maybe what they're really trying to say is that her obsession makes her think that she's more important to Michael than she really was.
Fair. There's also something that I really like in the sense that she definitely has this illusion that he will come for her. I think you're right, but she doesn't do what you would expect as an audience member her to do, which would be to put her family in danger.
Oh,
to
Loomis would have
to further her obsession.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
She doesn't do that. Her first priority actually legitimately
Was
is for
to
her
save
family
them.
to be safe.
Right.
Which
Well,
I actually like, and to the point where maybe if he's not coming for her, she's just going to ride this thing out at home in her bunker. But if he does come, she's ready.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's again, it's that horror movie contrivance.
Yeah, sure.
You gotta bring everybody together.
Yep.
Although I did really like her stalking Michael.
Oh, it was fucking great, right? Like clearing every room and putting
Yeah.
the gates down. Like it felt. You know what it felt like? It felt like fucking Alien 3.
Oh yeah.
Right, like
yeah.
when they're stalking the alien. Like
Right.
I love when the tables are kind of turned like that.
Right.
And you know it's dangerous, and this might not go the way you think it should go, but it's like fucking yeah, we're in control. You know, you get
Yeah.
a kind of a sense of exhilaration. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course when he tosses her out the window, and then he looks outside,
Of course.
she's gone.
Of course.
much
It's like-
like he did
Yeah.
to Loomis, and he even almost looks like, oh
Yeah.
fuck,
Yeah.
like he kind of looks around like,
Yeah. that shit is aces in my book.
yeah,
Yep.
The ruse that Judy Greer pulls,
Oh,
fucking
so
awesome.
good, so good. Yep.
Because she's all movie she's talking about like she was she had to live the life that her mother made her live by learning how to shoot a gun.
Yeah, and she was
how to
taken
be-
into Child Protective Services when she was 12. And
right, and she was they were trying to breed paranoia into her.
She talks about the psychological trauma that she has had to deal with her entire life because of her mother. Yeah.
Right. So like Lori was a bad mom, but that also makes Karen a bad mom to Allison.
Yeah.
It's you see what is very realistic.
Yeah.
A pattern of
trauma.
of trauma and misbehavior.
Yep.
But then she like goads Michael by like, I can't do this. Oh, come help me,
Mom, come help me, yeah.
And then he shows up and she's like, I got you. Like
Yeah.
just blows the fucking
Shoots him
takes-
right in the neck or
right
something.
in the neck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And she's got a moment too. That's so cool. She's just like, gotcha. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, that target
It's like
practice
that worked.
paid off.
Yeah. You like,
Which is-
and
which is-
it's you love it when a plan comes together, right? That's kind of what it feels like in that moment.
Well, and that's kind of what I wanted the whole movie to be like,
Right.
which is this: I'm this thing to the public, but when the cards are on the table, I got it under control.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that was awesome. I thought the idea of
And they all get their licks in at the end too. Like the,
Oh, yeah,
the granddaughter stabs them. And,
Yep. yeah, it's
It's a family affair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It is a family affair of kicking that ass.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I like that. Conceivably, there is an open ending for a sequel. I would rather not. 'Cause
Yeah.
this is a series that has been kind of rung through. It's stopped and restarted and retconned and rebooted and
It's-
let's just let it die for a little while.
Here's going to be the problem. Is this movie has already made a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And when people see money, they see, well, we can make another one. We could get more out of it. And there's going to be diminishing returns on all of the sequels they make from this one. They're not going to be as good. This one is making the kind of money it's making, I think, because of the concept, and it's really actually very well made.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing also I like, that it looks like a movie made on a budget, but it's got so many characters in this. So it's like, it's not a cheap movie.
No.
But it looks like it was made very lean.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I mean,
Oh, man. We haven't talked about Judy Greer's husband.
go for it, because I didn't like him.
You didn't like
I
him?
did not.
Oh, he cracked me up.
He was, well, I mean, like, he said funny things, but it's like, again, that's a problem with horror sequels, that there were too many, because there was that guy and there was the nice guy friend who was also a comedic.
Yeah. I didn't care for him as much.
No. I mean, like, comedy relief is fine, but then it felt like there were times there were too much of that going on, and it's like,
well, that character, the actor plays him. He's in another show that I really love, *Halt and Catch Fire*. Plays Boz in that, and I was excited to see him in this movie because he's not in any of the trailers, and I thought he was. I don't know. I kind of really liked him because you get the sense that this is can be a tense household between Judy Greer, her daughter, the estranged mother-in-law for him, but yet he's got this kind of positive, upbeat attitude.
I kind of took it as he has no idea what he walked into.
Maybe
like he just thinks that Lori is nuts.
Yeah, but he
doesn't
treat her like shit though.
No, but he is aloof.
Yeah.
All the fucking over the place. Aloof.
I don't know. He just seems like he's very affable. He's a very affable character.
Sure.
And I don't know. I appreciated him because Judy Greer was scowling enough for everyone. And I mean, she was really hard to like. And that was kind of the point.
She was hard to like,
and I think having him balance her was it felt right for me.
When Judy Greer was starting to be liked was when she realized, we're in trouble.
Shit is real.
We got to go. Yeah. We got to go to.
And
grandma's.
She doesn't want to leave her daughter behind.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you start to see the repair through the tragedy of. Right, I mean it's additional trauma bringing repair.
Yeah,
but anyway, no, I mean, not that I didn't like him. It's just that it's like I was getting tired of the comedic relief.
Yeah.
And it's like at some point you got to stow that away, and we got to get to the business.
That fair. Okay, I hear you on that, and that's definitely the Dana McBride elements of the script coming through.
Most of the time, the comedic relief or any comedic relief doesn't live to Act 3.
Yeah,
they get wiped out early. Nice guy friend got wiped out early. The babysitter. The little black kid just disappeared. Like he ran away and he's safe.
He's gone. Yeah,
assuming. But her and her boyfriend were killed very early.
Yep.
I mean, so it's like, okay, all right. It's like the comedic relief is getting picked off, and either he needs to be just cowering in the corner, like unable to handle.
Well, he got crumpled up.
He did, but he also had the best finding dead body moment.
Oh yeah.
Because the one fucking cop got his head ripped off and a flashlight shoved up.
Yes,
that was fucking rad.
That was really really cool. Yeah, it looked scary as shit.
That is a Michael Myers sequel kill.
Yeah.
But I dug it. I mean, in the long run, I very much like this movie. I'm curious to see how it holds up because I very much liked H2O for a while.
Yeah.
And then
you just watched that recently, right?
Yes, I did.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I did because AMC's
that
been
movie.
running
That
the
movie
hell out of
frustrates me because everyone who you think gets killed ends up not being dead.
Right, and there's a lot of jump scares.
Is that an R-rated movie? Because it feels like a PG-13.
It feels like a PG-13.
Yeah.
It is not because, if I'm not mistaken, there's nudity in it.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that one I always felt was it felt neutered to me.
That's Kevin Williamson.
Yeah. He fucking wrote that, didn't he?
He was an uncredited brush-up writer on that.
That's why.
That's
why it's Dawson's Creek of the horror movie or the Halloween movies. Yeah.
Yes. I know what you did last Halloween on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so I just, I mean, I'm curious to see how this holds up. I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
Yeah, it's
it is a very, very fun movie to watch. I was into it, man. I was sitting there watching.
I was really into it. Yeah. They hold the title card to the end, which is great.
What did you think of the opening credits?
I fucking loved it with the rotted pumpkin that was
coming back
in reverse.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was
it's
great.
Like, wow, we're back.
Yep. Yeah. I thought that was awesome. It's almost like all that shit that's That's, that garbage,
that garbage that made this pumpkin sad and decrepit.
Right.
We're all gone.
We're bringing it back. Yeah. We're coming back to what works.
Just opening credits in general, something you don't see in movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they did. I mean, it was all like the original, even right down to the introducing.
Yep.
I mean, it was, yeah. You could just felt from the very first moments of the opening sequence that is like, yeah, this is Halloween.
Yeah. It's it was good, and it was fun. You're immediately in the moment. You're immediately brought into it. They want you in, and they want you to understand that they care very much about what they are doing and how they're doing it. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. I mean, and
it is.
Halloween fans should be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, this is the Halloween sequel I think that we've wanted for 40 years.
Sure. There'll still be some people, because of course there are people who don't get what they wanted, and they're gonna have hundreds of YouTube videos to explain why.
I guess. All right. So another thing, this is a tricky thing. Number one, to make a sequel to a movie that's 40 years old, and to throw out all of the sequels that came before this one, even the fucking remake and the sequel to the remake, right?
Right.
So I mean, that's a tough task in and of itself. But I don't know where I was going with this. God damn it. I totally lost my train of thought. Sorry. But yeah, it's gone. Oh well.
We'll edit that. I'll fix that. I'll fix that.
Fix it in post.
I'll fix it in post.
I'll do it on the day, Jeff.
Do it on the fucking day. So I wanted to. So first of all, assuming that we probably both agree this is probably the best true sequel in the series. Yeah. I think it's the most. The heart is absolutely more in the right place than any. Even the original Halloween 2 felt like it was, we got to do this so that we can get the one we want.
Yeah.
Not counting Halloween 3, which I think is on a different side level.
Definitely.
I think this is, I'm curious to see if I still feel this way, 2, 3, 4 years from here, but we'll see. I think it's great though. I think it's what we deserved.
Yeah, and I'm excited to kind of put it in. I watch Halloween every Halloween. It's kind of a tradition to carve our jack-o'-lanterns, my wife and I, and watch the original Halloween. And I'm excited to now watch the original Halloween and this one.
Yeah, do it
back to back. Every Halloween now until I don't know. And maybe hopefully it holds up. We'll see. Yeah.
And maybe they'll make a new Halloween 3.
Maybe we'll get the true anthology, yearly anthology.
I'd be down with that.
I think I want Carpenter to come back. I want him to make a fucking movie. And maybe that's the end he needs.
What if he made a movie with the guy who did Trick or Treat?
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then maybe that's how you do your.
There is that to me kind of does feel like the Halloween concept. Is Trick or Treat movies, because he's making a sequel to that. Sure. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah. But that's actually true anthology though, where it's shorter stories within one kind of loop. I guess they're all interconnected in a way.
Yeah.
Tales from Halloween is a more recent one that kind of did that to mixed results. And it was a lot more stories. I think Trick or Treat was maybe 3 stories.
3 or 4. Yeah. So I said before we started that I had a couple of things about the original that I wanted to talk about.
Okay. All right.
One is a straight out flub that a lot of people forget, or at least once you know it, you catch it every time. The other one's a different type of flub.
Okay.
First of all, so when Loomis shoots Michael, he shoots him 7 times, not 6. He has a revolver.
Right.
He shoots him once in the hallway and then 6 in the room to knock him out the window.
I tried to catch that and count it when we watched it 2 nights ago. And I missed the count, but I've always heard that. But
I
did you count them? Because
I did.
I'd heard that it was actually in the second one where they added the extra shot.
No, it's in the first one because he shoots him once in the hallway, and then 6 times
off
in
the balcony.
The room. Yeah. I think they fix it in the second one.
Okay, that might be it.
Now the reason why is because I downloaded a clip that I'm going to play here in just a moment. And it included that, and I thought, well, while I'm here, I might as well count the shots. So I did.
Okay.
Another flub may be a mess up of the line that was said, or it may be that what the line was we have always mistaken. So Loomis shoots Michael out the window. As far as any quotes that you'll ever look up online, the next thing that happens is Laurie says, "Was that the boogeyman?"
Uh-huh.
Go to IMDb, look up quotes.
Yeah.
Was that the boogeyman?
Yeah.
And Loomis responds with, "As a matter of fact, it was."
It was, right.
However, let's listen to that line real quick.
Was the boogeyman? As a matter of fact, it was.
Here's what I want people to chime in here. On our Facebook page or on our Twitter or on the website, all of this Film Seizure, filmseizure.com or at Film Seizure on Facebook and or Twitter. I want to hear what people think this line is. Is it, was that the boogeyman, which is what is always quoted, or does she say, what's the boogeyman? Or does she say, it was the boogeyman? All of which we know what Donald Pleasance responds with.
Right. We know what the line was supposed to be.
Or we at least know what he says. To me, she either screws up and says, what's the boogeyman? And then his response doesn't make sense.
Right.
Or it really is, was that the boogeyman? Or the line was, it was the boogeyman, or it's the boogeyman. And then he responds to which both of those would make sense.
That would make sense.
But I'm going to play it again.
What's the boogeyman? As a matter of fact, it was.
And I want to know what people think the line is.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Because if you look it up, you'll always see that it says that what she says is, was that the boogeyman? I don't think that's what she says actually in the movie. So
okay.
So I want to hear from
yes. Let us know. What do you think? What do you think?
Hit
she
us
says?
up on Facebook or Twitter. It's Film Seizure, or go on filmseizure.com. Hit us up with a comment. I want to know what people think this line is, because every time I hear it, I'm less and less sure what the line actually is.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Take us out with this.
So you were talking about there are going to be people who nitpick this movie, and it's not going to have given them what they wanted from the movie. So I was going to talk about some of the things that I wanted from the movie that I didn't get.
Okay.
And I was prefacing that. By saying that this is a hard movie to make, right? And you're not going to be able to give everyone what they want, and you you want to be careful not to pack it too much full of references and things, because then it just gets kind of kitschy, right?
Yeah,
and a little too nostalgic overload.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen some returning characters. I think it would have been neat to see freaking Tommy and Lindsay.
Sure.
I think that if anyone could understand Laurie's trauma, it's those two.
Yes.
And that maybe she could have found a support system with them. I think that would have, or at least one of them. I think that would have been really interesting.
At least one of them still feeling sorry for her.
Right.
Because as kids, they would have most likely been able to outgrow it.
Compartmentalize it or
and
outpace it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But but really when you think about it, she's what, 16 in this movie, in the first movie, and those kids are probably like 8 or 9. They're not that much younger than she is.
Right.
When you age, they would have been, probably in their 50s.
Well, they would have ultimately ended up closely, same generation.
And in a town that's small, that would have been a trauma that they might have relived every Halloween. I guarantee you they didn't feel about Halloween the same way they did, before that happened to them, right? So I would have liked a little bit of an examination there, just a little, just a ding, yeah. And then also we talked about this, we laughed about this quite a bit. This is the Justice for Ben Tramer movement,
yeah, hashtag right? Justice for
Ben Tramer. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that, Jeff.
Ben Tramer is mentioned in Halloween 1 as the boy that Laurie has a crush on.
Yes.
Annie, who is her friend, says,
kind of a shitty friend, but yeah, friend.
Well, it's the friend who's always taking the piss out of them.
Yeah.
She's like, I talked to Ben Tramer about you going out with her. And of course, she's embarrassed. Like, oh no, why'd you do that? Undo it.
Right.
And she's like, no, Ben Tramer went out drinking with his friends. You find out what happens in Halloween 2. For some reason, he's dressed up like Michael Myers.
He had the same mask. They sold it. They sold it at the fucking hardware store.
It had different color hair.
It did, yeah.
And so he, in the second one, of course, everybody thinks, "Oh my God, there's Michael! Get him!" And he it's like walking across the street,
walking, yeah.
And he gets plowed by the deputy into a coroner's van or something. The whole fucking thing explodes. Ben Tramer gets toasted, and never a thought ever again given to him. Nope. He is an unfortunate casualty of the hysteria that has come to Haddonfield.
Yes.
And never has it been talked about or
he's the only
since.
person that dies that is not at the hands of Michael Myers.
Pretty much.
I think, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, at least that I can think, at least in the movies that are good.
Right.
So they... So I thought it's like Ben Tramer's got to be alive in this universe.
How do you not show Ben Tramer in some way, shape, or form?
Ben Tramer. If you're a Halloween fan, you want to know what's up with Ben Tramer, and if you are a YouTube watcher and you're a fan of the Cinema Snob, you really want to know what happens to Ben Tramer. He brings it up in every single Halloween because in the Rob Zombie Halloween, Danielle Harris talks about it because she plays Annie.
Yep.
And they said something like, I thought you said Ben Tramer was retarded. And he's like, what? That was his response to it. He was so mad. He went from having no justice for Ben Tramer
to being retarded. Slandered. Oh, God. Well, so, have you watched his take on this one yet, the new one yet?
I watched the midnight screenings, yeah.
So did he talk about Ben Tramer?
He dressed up like Ben Tramer. It starts off with him wearing the mask.
Oh, Jesus, that's too good.
Yeah. So, but anyway.
But yeah, like maybe one of her ex-husbands, she had two ex-husbands. One of them she could have said my ex-husband Ben. That's all they could have had to do.
Like,
yeah, just like a little thing.
Taken off running.
Like, come on, fucking Danny McBride. Like, you can't fit Ben Tramer in there anywhere.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, we never knew. Like, okay, we could have found out. Like, okay, Judy Greer's, married name is whatever, but her,
right, yeah, yeah, like maybe she was Tramer or something. Yeah, like that would have been fucking awesome. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
All right. What we got next week?
What is next week? So this is our Halloween episode.
Yep.
So it's the first week in November.
Yep.
What is next week? Which one are we doing? Our first is it
Head?
Yeah.
So next week is the 50th anniversary of The Monkey's Head.
Yeah.
A movie I very much love because of the monkeys. It's a weird movie, but I think Jason will enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. We'll see what I think.
Yeah, we'll see. But again, to kind of put the stamp on Halloween, if you're a horror fan, you're going to see this movie.
Yeah.
There's no way you're a horror fan and between the ages of 20 and 60 that you don't love Halloween.
Right.
You're going to see this movie, and it's well worth it. You see it see it 4 times for all I give.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see it again. I'll be picking it up, a personal copy of this one for sure. Yeah. I'm excited to get it into my Halloween rotation each year. Just I really, really, really had a lot of fun with this movie. It's about as good a sequel that we could have expected.
Right. To ask for anything more is kind of ludicrous.
Except for Ben Tramer.
Fuck. Yeah.
I want the Ben Tramer cut. God damn it.
Yeah. Oh, God. What if he was the guy who worked at the gas station?
That would have been fine. Just put fucking Tramer on like his name tag or something. Like, come on.
Oh, well.
Maybe it's in there. Maybe we just missed it.
Maybe. I don't think so, though. Because
Cinema Snob would have found it.
Yeah, he would. So, anyway. So join us next week while we talk about Head.
Yes.
A truly weird movie, but I think fun nonetheless.
Indeed.
In the meantime, be safe out there trick-or-treating.
Yes,
and make sure that you check for razor blades and apples and shit.
Absolutely. That's very, very real danger.
I don't know how, but yes, it's a very real danger.
I mean, Night of the Demons taught us that, right?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Bake them into a pie and feed that old man.
But yeah, have a fun, safe, spooky Halloween, everybody.
Yes, and we will see you next week. Until then, I am Jeff Arbuckle.
I am Jason Oliver, and you have been listening to Film Seizure.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, silver shamrock.